I want to start us off with a crazy stat. It's Bologna-Roma, Thiago Motta versus Jose Mourinho, the pupil versus the master. Okay, in the last 4 games between Bologna and Roma in Serie A, there have been just 3 goals scored. But previous to that, after 17 across the last 4, we can say that this is surely a sign of Mourinho playing out here. No more Fonseca, totally open football. We see that the team is so much more closed down, and that is not any more apparent than in this last week's Europa League semi-final, where Roma were so good against Leverkusen, totally locked out Wirtz, the rest of the company that were so dynamic and fast. Xabi Alonso getting a lesson, and once again Mourinho comes across another player. Last time that these two teams were out, Roma came away with the win, but they haven't won in Serie A in their last 4 matches. The good news is that Salic is back after a suspension. As well, Mourinho can get Wijnaldum back, Smalling, and Llorente, but I don't really think any of them are going to see minutes. Meanwhile, Arnautovic returns for Bologna and Motta. He was on the bench last week, but the one thing about if he goes back into the lineup, that means that Motta's going to have to change his false 9 formation. One other big loss here is Stefan Posch. This defender, it's his first season in Serie A, Austrian center back. He's got a ton of goals. He often plays left back too. And he's so good at firing from long range. And that's the one weakness probably in Roma's play, is that when they're in the final third, they tend to sit a little deep, where if a player does have a good long range shot, there's a probability that it's going to end up on goal. So Stefan Posch missing out on this one, I think, is really important. So Andrea Cambiaso or Lorenzo De Silvestri could get the start there. Bologna's possible starting lineup: Skorupski, who we know well, De Silvestri, as I said, Bonifazi, Sosa, and Cambiaso. Then in midfield, Schouten, decent player there, Dominguez, who scored a really good goal, I think last week, and Orsolini on the right, Ferguson and Ebischer, and then Barrow up top. Orsolini has hit decent form. I think he's the second or first most scoring Italian right now in Serie A, or I guess in general, across the world in the top flight. So Orsolini is the guy in form, in my opinion. Roma's possible starting lineup is a different story, though. Dybala not called up. Rui Patricio not called up. So what does that mean? That means we're going to see Svilar get in. That's probably also Mancini, Cristante, Ibanez, again for the umpteenth time since Chris Smalling has been out. Then Salic, as I said, returns. Matic, maybe Bove as well. Zalewski, he'll definitely get the start here. Pellegrini, Solbach, and Abraham is the rumored starting 3. But I really want to take a look. I think Mourinho is going to go safe here. Of course, he's going to go for the win, but I think he's going to play it a bit more moderate. I don't think that all of these players who are rumored to be starting are actually going to get it. Let's look at some names now in Roma's Primavera. Claudio Cassano, Luigi Cherubini, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Typically, CH in Italian is Che, but, maybe someone else knows better. Matteo Ruggerio, Christian Volpato, and then in the midfield, Giacomo Faticanti, Leonardo Graziani, Nicolo Pisili, Benjamin Tahirovic, who we know. On top of that, in defense, Dimitrios Karamitsis is the defender who is rumored as well to be getting, most rumored to be getting the start here, or at least some playing time. Let's see what happens, but the big game is truly next Thursday. But should be an interesting look at some players who have gotten fringe minutes, if any minutes at all. Let's see.